Long-term capital management was a hedge fund run by some of the most brilliant minds on Earth. The board of directors included 2 Nobel laureates in economics and a team of mathematical geniuses. In 1998, their fund collapsed. These experts had access to the highest IQs and the most advanced predictive algorithms on the planet, yet they lost billions of dollars and drove their firm straight into bankruptcy. Then there is Ronald Read. He was a high school-educated janitor and investigation attendant who lived a quiet, unremarkable life. When he died in 2014, he left behind an $8 million fortune. This creates a paradox. If building wealth is strictly a mathematical equation, the Nobel laureates should win every single time. A janitor should never beat a team of quantitative analysts. Money doesn't follow the universal, unbreakable laws of physics. It operates like biology, driven by the messy reality of human emotion. Financial failure is often a behavioral problem disguised as a math problem. We struggle because we try to solve human emotions with a calculator. Consider the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is a function of current income. It's what you earn today. Wealth is the accumulation of assets you have chosen not to spend. Our culture reinforces a specific mathematical assumption that spending money on luxury items is the primary way to prove you have achieved financial success. The psychological reality is that wealth is what you don't see. It is specifically the luxury cars you didn't purchase, the first-class upgrades you declined, and the designer watches you left in the store. This creates a moving goalpost. As income rises, the psychological urge for social comparison often pushes spending up at the same rate. This instinct instantly neutralizes any mathematical gains in your paycheck. Accumulating true wealth is a cask of ego suppression. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less of it. This disconnect between logic and emotion is most dangerous during market volatility. Investors often fall for the spreadsheet illusion, where financial risk looks entirely harmless on a piece of paper. This chart shows an 8% historical market return. We model this as a safe, predictable trajectory across a 30-year timeline. But sterile math cannot simulate the terrifying psychological reality of living through a sudden 30% portfolio crash. When you watch your life savings evaporate, a biological trigger flips. The human brain processes severe financial loss using the exact same fight-or-flight neural pathways it uses when encountering a physical predator. This primal fear overrides the logical prefrontal cortex. It drives otherwise brilliant people to sell their assets at the absolute bottom of the market, entirely out of emotional exhaustion. Advanced financial logic is useless if you lack the baseline emotional regulation required to survive moments of volatility without reacting. Compounding is the single most powerful mathematical tool in finance, yet the human brain is biologically ill-equipped to comprehend it. This diagram illustrates our compounding blind spot. On the left, we see linear growth, how humans evolved to think. On the right, we see an exponential curve. Because it remains almost perfectly flat for decades before curving up, exponential growth feels frustratingly stagnant in the early years. This psychological disconnect breeds severe impatience. It pushes investors to interrupt the compounding process so they can chase more exciting short-term gains. There is a severe mathematical cost to that interruption. As we highlight the extreme tail end of this curve, you can see that the vast majority of wealth generation occurs entirely at the end of the timeline. The hardest financial skill is developing the psychological endurance to simply leave an investment alone. An ordinary person with average intelligence but elite behavioral control will reliably out-earn a financial genius who lacks emotional discipline. A net worth tracker is often treated like a leaderboard in a game where the only goal is a higher number, but every dollar Ronald Read didn't spend was actually a claim on his future, a way to ensure that he, not an employer or a bill, dictated his schedule. This is the highest dividend money pays: autonomy. It is the psychological freedom to wake up and own your time and your decisions. Stop trying to build a mathematically optimal portfolio. Start building the portfolio that allows you to sleep peacefully at night. Mastering your own mind is the ultimate requirement for financial success. It matters far more than being the smartest person in the room.